Okay, maximum or minimum displacement and maximum or minimum velocity. For note here, displacement is maximum or minimum when v is equal to 0. So how to determine whether the displacement is maximum or minimum? So we use the second derivative, which is d square s over dt square. If it is less than 0, so it is maximum displacement, but if the value is more than 0, so it is minimum displacement. So for velocity is maximum or minimum when the value of a is equal to 0. So how to determine whether the velocity is maximum or minimum? We use dA over dt. When the value is less than 0, so it is maximum velocity, but dA over dt, if the value is more than 0, so it is minimum velocity. For example, here given the displacement of an object from point O is given that s is equal to 3 over 2 t square minus 1 over 6 t cube plus 7 over 2t, where t is the time in seconds after passing O. So to answer the question, we have to find the displacement, velocity and acceleration function first. So for the displacement function, we have to copy it first, like the question. Okay, for velocity, you have to differentiate it from the displacement function. You will get 3t minus 1 over 2t square plus 7 over 2. And for acceleration function, you have to differentiate one more time. So you will get 3 minus t. Okay, to answer the questions here, when the displacement is maximum or minimum, and find the maximum or minimum of the displacement. So kita akan tengok displacement function. So dia nak maximum or minimum, so kita akan tengok di bawah function s itu adalah v, so v is equal to 0. So 3t minus 1 over 2t square plus 7 over 2 is equal to 0. So this one is quadratic equation. So we factorize it, you will get t minus 7 t plus 1 equals 0. So t is equal to 7, negative 1. But please bear in mind that time will always be positive, so we choose t is equal to 7 seconds. So the value of displacement is, substitute the value of 7 into the displacement function. And you will get the answer is 45 over 6. So to determine whether the displacement is maximum or minimum, you have to use the second derivative. So d square s over dt square is equal to acceleration function. Which is 3 minus t. So t is equal to 7. So 3 minus 7 is equal to negative 4, which is less than 0. So this one is maximum displacement. Okay, for second question, the initial velocity, t is equal to 0. So v is equal to 3 times 0 minus 1 over 2, 0 square plus 7 over 2. And you will get the answer is 7 over 2 meter per second. Okay, for the third question, the initial acceleration and acceleration when t is equal to 2. So for initial acceleration, t is equal to 0, so your a is equal to 3 minus 0. Okay, so your a is 3. So when t is equal to 2, a is equal to 3 minus 2 equal to 1 meter per second per second. Okay, for the last question, the time when the velocity is maximum or minimum, and determine the value of maximum or minimum velocity. So yang ini kita tengok di bawah function v adalah a, so we set a is equal to 0. So 3 minus t is equal to 0, so t is equal to 3. So from the velocity function, substitute t is equal to 3. Okay, 3 minus 1 over 2, 3 square plus 7 over 2. You will get 8 meter per second for velocity. So we want to determine whether the velocity is maximum or minimum. So we use the dA over dt. So when we differentiate from the acceleration function, you will get negative 1. So negative 1 is less than 0, so it is maximum velocity.